Right, we're going to do a basic tutorial on Fruity Loops 10. I've got some bits and bobs set up already because it's going to be quite a bit of a tutorial. This one's mostly about the interface, you know, your patterns, how you do them, your playlist, your master, even adding your samples. So first of all, a lot of people don't know this and it's pretty silly, right? So what you want to do is any samples you want, just drag over to Fruity Loops, stick in the side here, and
Yes, master.
that's that simple, really. Bit evil. Anyway, basics. Pattern is for just this bit here, really. You know, set a couple of things up, just random. Anyway, now song is what you have where you add your playlist. So, for example, I've got my vocal, which is that's part of the actual pattern, but pattern 2. So obviously pattern 2 would be my harp. So you know you get the gist of it. You do it as, you know, it's normally 4 of these is, you know, how your basic timing is. You can cut them down if you go on to well, if you just do that there, just drag, so you can just have a certain amount playing. Let me just mute the vocal. So you know what I mean, just that's that really, but just leave it how you really want it, how you want to build your tune. Say if you've got a good little bass line going and you don't want to keep repeating it in a drag and drop, then you know you just cut it down. Oh, just cut it down, just add them together like that. I don't know why it's doing that, sorry. Anyway, so you get the gist of how you do that really, but first the main thing is what kind of samples you want to use for what kind of thing. This one's mainly for northeast style, you know, like all the montage stuff and stuff like that really. One sec. So first, kick. Pick your kick. What you want to do is normalise it, and then depending on the kick, if it's just like we'll put it on its own, if that's how I've got it set, but some of them I set with reverb for some stupid reason. You know, this is basically how much of it plays on like the outside of it. So if you turn in off, you'll get rid of the front. So you want in always down, and then depending on what kind of kick it is, get it so you can have it so it's just. But that's pretty pointless. You need a bit of a, you know, a bit of effect with it. Volume pitch, pan obviously is left side, right side. But that's just basic stuff really. What else to say really? Right, what we're gonna do first is intro. How we start with intro. So intros, perk, vocal. Sometimes if you've got like how I've got a stab on it. So for this, oh yeah, with this as well. Some are stupidly long, some are really short. So what you want to do is turn the CRF up and the trim up. Basically that'll play only what's selected. So if you move it up there, drag it. Do you know what I mean? Just like if you have a little tiny bit, it'll just play a little bit. But normally it's just over 1 dot, so it's like. So say grab all this, move all that over there. Pattern 6, move here. This as well. This is a catchy little thing. On this, that little paintbrush just means you can do that. Instead of sat there going and trying to drag them all together, just press that, drag it along, and then just put it in the position you want it in. So clap. Set that out. Bit louder. So run off pattern. So you get the hint with that. You get what I mean with that. Anyway. Do that for maybe 2 if you want. This is just how I do it. I'm not doing it on all my tunes. Just I want to get it. It's a canny bit to cover over Fruit Loops. It's not exactly like playing Minecraft, is it, or something gay like that. Right. So keep that going like that. Then some people do it different. If you want to save a lot of time, like I said, then let's just pick one with the R pin. Right, that one. Right, if you right click, you can either delete it. If you clone it, it'll just put it in number 3. Even if you've got something in number 3, it'll put it in number 3, and whatever was at 3 will move to 4, so you don't overwrite anything. That's the main thing. So we'll just grab that again, get rid of the ARP. So, I mean, this is like little things like this that make a difference in timing, so you don't take 4 weeks to make a tune like everyone used to do. Just add them in there. So you get the hint of that there. Ooh. Some people do it different to me. I do it like this. It's like each person has the way of learning and the way of doing it. This is just how I do it really. It just takes a lot less time really. So basically, I'd say by each 4, you want to change it. Even each 2 really. I mean, like on this here, I'll have like a vocal. Then on these 2, I'll have a vocal. You know, chop it up a bit, make something new with it, and then after that, you want to bring the bass line in, which, like I said, if you do it like this, it saves a lot of time. I know I'm probably moving too fast for most people here, but you know, there's little daft things like if you want to go on the piano roll, just right click piano roll. You know what I mean? Just like that. Or you can even just click it like that. All these little bars here are for on and off. The knob on the left hand side's for panning, which you just really want to leave be really. Unless you're some multi-master or something. And then all the ones on the right are the volume. Now I've just messed around with this. I haven't sorted the volumes out. I just want, like I said, I want to get it done really. With crashes, you know, you pick your favourite crash. Like I said, I've got this one here. It'll still add it in there, but you can grab the whole thing and just drop it on there. Just make sure you turn the volume down, because sometimes they're really loud. It's best as well if you try and keep your crashes all in one line, because it's so annoying when you sit there and you've got crashes like this because you're too lazy to pick them up and drag them up and around. So just start like this here. Let's find like random vocal. Oh, wrong ones. Can you find my vocal packs? Oh, there we go.
Overpowering enemies, not complete needs. We can have peace, what's the nonsense? Mercy. Overpowering enemies, not complete needs. We can have peace, what's the nonsense? Mercy. Overpowering enemies.
I don't know why it keeps doing that. Just minimize it. Right. With vocals as well, if you want them to stay where they literally stay the same things, if you stretch it for too long and you don't have, like with auto, you turn it down, it'll do this.
We can have peace.
You know what I mean? It sounds horrible.
Mercy.
Obviously, that must be like that then. This is like I said, this is just an example. Just checking it again. Make sure your volume's down as well, because you don't want it blasting.
Overpowering enemies, not complete needs. We can have peace, what's the nonsense? Mercy.
On speech, and no matter what length it is, it'll try and keep it the same pitch basically. It sounds alright if you've got it like that, but if you drag it out, it does sound like the quality just lower a bit. I'm not sure why.
Overpowering enemies, not complete needs. We can have peace.
What's that done there? Add that in. If you hold Control and just click one, it'll just turn it all off, put the one you've selected. So it's just like that really. It's just a quick way of doing it.
Overpowering enemies, not complete needs. We can have peace, what's the nonsense? Mercy. Overpowering enemies, not complete needs. We can have peace, what's the nonsense? Mercy. Overpowering enemies, not complete needs. We can have.
That's another thing. Vocals. Right. If this button here, stretch, right? If you don't have stretch selected, you can remove part of the vocal. It doesn't delete it, it just means it's not there, like for you. It won't play it basically. But if you click stretch, it'll stretch the vocal. So you can, if say, like you said, if you want it like that, then it'll turn dead fast again. Depending on obviously, but you normally want to try, like, some take the mic, right? If you click this little magnet button, it says the steps basically and how short, and you'll see all these little tiny things here will change. Just you want to try, you need to make sure your vocal. Sometimes it's better to click none, and then you can just drag it just perfect like that there. There's that bit done. for this bit here, you really need something. This is where you'd add your fillers. I mean, I've only got like one pack at the moment just 'cause I haven't bothered with the rest. Actually, I think the Jason P pack did. No. Loops, yeah. You'll get loops basically, fill-in kind of loops where it's just daft little things for like drop-ins of tunes and stuff. So I thought I had some, but obviously loops. There we go. Fills. That's for now. Just like I said, we're just chucking it together, aren't we? That's what I mean about turning the volume down. Even with them, put speech as well, because otherwise it just sounds horrible. Oh, well, that's my bass one. Same with that, like every two, you like I said, you want to do something different in there. Some people just like add a crash just so you can, for when you're mixing around really, you can just do a nice little flick it over for like complete silence. You know, basic the same with how you'd use any Windows computer. Control C, V, A. You know, Control A, select all, C, copy, V, paste. You know, so that does save a lot of time. I remember we didn't know all this stuff, and like we didn't even know how to do all that, and we used to make a full track on just one pattern, and we didn't know copy and paste, so every kick we had to place ourselves. It was absolutely stupid. We were thick as fuck. But anyway, yeah, let's keep this going like this. I've only got basic percussion at the moment as well, just basic closed hat, hi-hat, closed hat on kick. But sometimes if you don't notice it, but if you put on the closed hat on beat, off beat like that, there we go. You can't really tell, but when you have it right, you can hear both flips. But when you do this, the second one kind of cancels it out, but it kind of boosts it at the same time, so it sounds like a proper flick, high, flick, high. It sounds a lot better. So like I said, for now we're just going to do a quick tutorial, because there's no point of us dragging it on even more. So we'll get the vocal. Oh yeah, if you hold shift, you can move it like that. You can move the vocal inwards and outwards by that, or if you select the bar above it, you can move the whole thing, which saves a lot of time, so you don't have to keep doing this all the time just to get the vocal right. If there's somebody, see if it's right. Oh. If there's somebody. Now, I took some little pads together already. They are pretty nasty, like, but they work. This is just like I said, just keeping it as an example. Just get rid of all these here. They just get really annoying. If you hold control, that brings up this little bar, this, you know, the selective box. But if you hold control and shift, you can just select bits and bobs instead of having to delete one by one, which is everything takes the mic. Delete. Oh, have I done that right? Yeah. Delete. Right, there's that done. Right, Control Alt, drag them out, and then these two, grab both, drag them back down. So some people, you can be really specific with, like, well, yeah, you know what I mean. Add extra notes like this. But then we turn it in quite the wrists for violins kind of tune. So next we want to whack these on the playlist. Obviously you got playlist selected 5, which is where the pads are. Just whack them. you know, move them up and down. Normal ones for northeast, especially if you're doing tunes. Some people do it like 160 for the better quality when you're on the CDs and that, but just doing it 170, 175, depending on what you want. I'm just, like I said, doing it quick, but well, just see how this sounds here. I think I've muted everything again. Yep.
If there's somebody who can show me the way from now,
That's better.
yeah, if there's somebody.
Yeah, that'll work. Grab the app. You can, you know, they all stick in the same kind of pattern. So, you know, if you want to do something different, move it across or something. Find an empty one. 9. Whack this in here.
If there's somebody who can show me the way from
I'm
now.
not sure if I cover this as much as really it seems though it's like just a quick one. This is your master basically. Anything you want to do there, effects, EQing, anything like that, you do on this. Select that, and then which one is it? Go on view, and then put big meter, because if you don't have big meter, it actually like halves all of these, so it's like you get like 6 per bar, and it looks stupid. But anyway, yeah, you right click, you make sure this this is like how it's showing what you've selected. You can select more than one by holding right click, like just right click, and you add extra ones. But you just want the one for now, which we've got as the app. Right click, link selected channels to this track, and then it'll link the app or whatever you're using into the mixer, which means we can get it like that. It's the same with dots on this as well. Hold control and it'll get rid of everything but the one you selected. Control again and it'll bring them all back, or you can just pick the one off. So what you want to do, well, what I'm going to do on this is just going to show you a couple of basics, like Fruity Fast LP. It's a good little thing. Right, with this here, you right click and you'll select, then let go when you're done with it. At the moment, if you do it like without this, if you do like an automation clip, it'll highlight everything you've got. Like say from I don't know, from 1. Say you've done a tune from 1 to 77 like ours. It'll come all across this here. So instead of doing that, right, just highlight the part of the track you want. So we just want the app. Go back into your mixer, click Fast LP. For the cutoff, right click, create automation clip, and that'll bring up a little box like this here. Tells you what it's for anyway. This is where you can just do whatever you want, really. You can't go stupid. Well, you can, but it'll sound daft like if we do this. Right, just. That hasn't even worked. What the hell? You know what, I don't even know why that doesn't work. That's just made me look a right tit. Well, anyway, we were going to do some mental, like, well, I wouldn't say mental, but we're going to do some cool cut-off things. But another way of doing it as well, sometimes Fruit Loops decide it doesn't want to work, you know what I mean? Something like what's just happening there. Other things to do is go into the actual program, right, turn on the master filter, and there's your cut-off. It's kind of funny out with it anyway. Yet again, highlight the area, go to tools. This is just another way of doing it if you can't. You know, if some programs don't let you actually create automation clips unless you do it through FL, and some of the FL ones are absolute shite. So what you want to do is go to last tweaked and then create automation clip. Now whatever you've used last, say if we use on the filter, that doesn't make any difference, like the spread, if you turn all the way up, it'll pan each note between left and right. Say if we want to use that, if we just wobble it about a bit, but we don't, you know what I mean, we'll use the cutoff, wobble it about a bit, make sure that's highlighted, go to tools, last tweak, create more automation clip, and that'll use the cutoff from the actual program, Nexus itself, or say if you're using Surge, V-Station, Vanguard, Silent One, anything like that really, it'll do it through the program, and obviously the program isn't no better with them. There we go. Yeah, well that's sumit that, so get that running off that as well, so we'll have it all running together.
Somebody who can show me the way from now. Yeah, if there's somebody, a light in the darkness, come take my hand and lead me to love. I just can't wait any longer to go. It feels so strong, it's tearing me apart. 'Cause I believe.
So that sounded not bad actually. But like, obviously you do a lot more of your breakdowns. You don't have to, but it makes sense. The better you have it, you know, the more views, the more people. If you're doing it on IMO or anything like that, the more people are going to buy it. Really. Yeah. So what else do we need? Make sure there's a crash. I know this is like basic, you know, Nathaniel, or whatever that's called. This is like the basic stuff you need to do. You need to make sure you've got a crash on kicks. Otherwise, unless it's like a mini kick off where you've just got a kick, the melody, and the snare running in the back, then sometimes it doesn't matter, but it still sounds. I mean, listen to the difference on it. I think that's it. Grab that. Oh yeah, that another thing as well. If you want to switch pattern without flicking up and down or without going into this and seeing which pattern it is, if you've already got a pattern on there, click it, double click, and it'll bring up the pattern. Say we're on 7, double click 3, it'll take it to 3, and then like I said, if you got it highlighted through it, it'll do that. So see what it sounds. With us highlighting 3 and cutting it down with, you know, you can use the cut tool here as well. That basically cut and it'll split it wherever you've cut it. You know what I mean? But we don't really want to. You don't really want to do that 'cause sometimes it can go horribly wrong. It's mostly for vocals anyway. So we've got the melody there. You know, depends on what you use really. Surge, Silent One, V Station, stuff like that. They're your best bets for, well, that I've known for melodies. Surge is an absolute dynamite piece of equipment. Well, the program, sorry. What the one? Silent One. That's good. And if you're just learning how to do it all, Nexus. And I know people slate Nexus, but Nexus for the presets, when you're just learning, is a lifesaver. Plus, I still use some of the Nexus stuff for the bass, because the bass you can get, like, if you're doing like a Spanish kind of track, a couple of single layer leads in, like, you know, like from C3, C4, C5, have each one of them different, and you can have a nice bass line with it basically. So, you know, stuff like that you need to pay attention with really, because I'm not sure why that's doing that. But let's see. Turn up on this bit here as well, because you'll notice, right, with this, that bit there is for how much apparently it's got really to use. Oh no, all this is basically using 445, plus I've still got that left, but that's pointless anyway, because you don't really need, as long as you've got a good PC as well. That's another thing as well. Go to options, then audio, set it like that basically, because Fruit Loops with Windows 7 or 64-bit will lag like a bitch if you don't set it properly. Like the buffer rate, I mean, the difference between the difference between when it shows running from this bit to when it's, hold on a sec, 24 minutes, bloody hell, till it's running from this bit to when it comes out the sound card. There's a complete difference. The more it eases the processor mainly, but recommended, you're probably best off having dual core or more, and I'd say 3 gig or more if you want to start messing around making your own leads and stuff, which I still can't do. I'm learning at the moment. So follow them basically. If you're still getting lag from that, then I haven't got a clue why. This bit here is for your volume. the monitor, as long as it stays, if it's just at the start of yellow, it ain't too bad. Green's obviously preferable, but if you start having it like red, it means it's over this bit here. If you should be, there's a little thing here, I think it's dB meter or something like that. Yeah, that's the one there. That there. That's just a little idea. You can keep that running in the corner. It won't matter what you. Oh well, it will apparently. But keep that running. You want it between controls. Apparently it's not making a difference. Normally you want it ranging about 6, I'd say between 12 and 6, because obviously anything over, if you're doing like, if you're getting your tunes mastery when you start getting something done, it'll just come back that you can't really do it, because it just basically distorts it as well. Like that's the right, so what have we covered? Intros, how to add these samples. Other thing that reminds me, your kick. Remember, left click on it, or right click either way. Drag it in one of these. I've already done it at the moment. You want EQ and not EQ. Yeah, this here, multi-band compressor. It's a good little piece of kit, right? It doesn't come up with this at first. You want to right click on the 2 arrows left and right. Go to mastering 2.4 dB, right? And basically I'll actually just show you anyway. It'll set the gain up and basically low band, mid band, high band. You know, high, medium, low on your kicks. So I'll go to pattern again, grab the kick on its own. You see from the markers here, you want that just about in the middle. Then depending on how your kick is, this kick's kind of light, so got to put a bit more gain on the bass, a bit on the medium, just a little bit on that. It improves the quality well more than it needs to. You know what I mean? It does get it sounding a lot better. So that's your kick started. Your percussion, really, that's up to you, really. I mean, you hear some trance tunes where half of them are bloody done with bongos and stuff. You know what I mean? But it's each to their own. If you just want a normal thing, make sure you got your clap on your kick, otherwise it sounds horrible. It just doesn't seem full, you know, the track seems like it's just missing something basically. Have your kick on the bass, hi-hat obviously, that's up to yourself as well. If you get, like I said, if you get long hi-hat samples, just turn that out up a bit. That's the main thing it's for, really. Like this one, if I turn that out down, this is what it's like on its own. Turn it up a bit. Got a lot of back end on it. Just turn it up a bit. Not. There you go. I mean, it makes a complete difference, especially when you're running off that. So if we turn, we don't want it that high. You just want it resting like on the back, basically. Same with your clap. You don't want your clap up like slapping the shit out of your kick. You just want it so it's just a little bit there, so you can just hear it. See what I mean? Bass, that's down to yourself as well. That's how you really want to make it. If you want a northeast kind of stuff made, then stick it just about. If you've got it on main like most people, just have it like about that. If you're doing Spanish, you can have it like that, but most people have it about there. Which, you know what I mean, it's each to their own. It is all down to preference and style, how you want it. For them kind of basses though, like I said, I've just picked another one here. Just go to bass. Well, it depends on what program you've got, really. For this one, I've just got a nice. Then I've got a sub underneath that. Then a high. Make sure so you know. Obviously, you can do it a lot more. You can have like 3 basses where they're all different levels, like I said, with the Spanish ones, but they'll work. I think that's round about it for the first tutorial. Next one, we're going to start getting more into acid lines, riadas, chopping up vocals, stuff like that. So we'll just call it quits for this one, because that is the basics and how to do you could do a full tune off just learning how to do that there. The melody, everything's just down to yourself. So yeah, I'll do another one soon. So see how it sounds. Well, we know how it sounds, but by the end of it you should have.
If there's somebody who can show me the way from now, yeah, if there's somebody, a light in the darkness, come take my hand and lead me to love. I just can't wait any longer to go. It feels so strong, it's tearing me apart.
Another little thing is, one of the lads, Sinclair, he told us just a little kick before the kick as well. I don't seem to name mine properly at all, so we'll just go save it on the desktop. Whoa. So the next one we're going to carry on with this tune anyway. The only difference is I'm only using the vocal tune because you're going to need to know how to stretch vocals, how to add reverb, delay on it, programs to use for delay, stuff like that. So we'll do all that on the next one. Right, see you later.